here today. So here's a new bait I got from Marty. Bill was a little long, couldn't burn it. I wanted to be able to burn it, so it looks like there's fingernail clippings all over the floor where I have trimmed off about a 1/16 of an inch off the end of it. But trimmed it with scissors, and now I've got a little, I will probably call this bait, now that I've been here doing this, I think this is going to be the seesaw. Because literally I've sat here for an hour with a piece of sandpaper and rolled this bill on it to round it off and smooth it off. Kind of like a seesaw. So I think that's going to be the name of this bait. But it ran really good. It just wouldn't do what I wanted it to. So it's weird, South Jersey. Is your phone updated? Doug, what's up, dude? You fishing tomorrow? But I was talking to Jimmy Eder about it, and he's like, that sounds like a. I was telling him what was going on with it, and he's like, that sounds like one of those shaky mans. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He's like, they had that similar action. He's like, they want to blow out when you reel them fast, but they wouldn't blow out. They just kind of like go weird directions. It's like, yeah, that's kind of what it's doing. And he was telling me about some sort of thing they do on the Ohio River where they just like, to combat that bait doing that, they like do these weird like twitches and like kind of work it like a jerk bait and like make it dance around. He said they have a name for it, like that technique or that like way they do. Ooh, you do you use your computer to watch Instagram? That's interesting. I've never done it. I've been on there. I use Instagram on a browser, like a computer browser, because like if you sent me pictures of a bait like you wanted painted like a month ago or like 3 weeks ago, whatever, and I need to go back and look at the pictures, if I go back to my phone Instagram messages, the pictures have like a little ring with the arrow, like the refresh, and they never come up. But if I go to the internet browser on a computer, it'll show up. So I use the Instagram on the desktop for pulling old pictures. Travis, what's up, dude? I'm over here shaping. Tim, what's up? I'm over here doing some stuff you'd be doing. Hand shaping bills. This bait had a little weird. Oh, nice move, Morgan. I don't think there's a lot of people that utilize Instagram desktop. We have 2 though here. Tim, I got these baits from Marty, and they had a weird little glitch in them to where if you got them to a certain speed, they'd like run to one direction, and I couldn't tune it out of them, and it wasn't a good run to either direction. So I kept I tuned them. Like I sat there at the little test pond and tried to tune it out of them. I was turning the hook hangers and just trying everything I could to get that weird kick out of it. Uh, but I couldn't tune it out of it in the bait. So got the scissors out, shortened the bill up, and seemed to solve my problem. So now I've got all of them to do. So I've been over here whittling on crankbait bills. But there's a good lesson to be had here, and that is if you have a bait that's running funny that you don't like something about, get the damn scissors and the sandpaper and a pocket knife out and start cutting on that thing. Um, but you wouldn't think that a 16th of an inch would make that much difference, but it does. Um, it sure does. So all these bills will be hand shaped by yours truly. I'll go test them first. I'm gonna go test them, make sure they run. But all your bills are getting shaped. 1, 4, 5, 10 more. Yeah, I used to take Tim. I used to take the DT flats because I was never a big fan of. I was never a big fan of the coffin style bills with the like sharp edges. And I would take a piece of sandpaper and just round the edge and make it like a shad wrap. Dude, it made those things like I don't know. It kind of I don't know what it made it like a softer kind of smoother wiggle. Um, I really liked it. Uh, Luckily, I didn't do that to a ton of them because when they Travis, they are. Because then when they discontinued them, they the prices went out of control. I was like, damn, I'm glad I didn't take all my DT flats and shave the bills on them because if I did want to get rid of these, or like in 10 years if they're like collectible or if people are like paying good money for them, I didn't want to have to like have a bunch of dicked up ones. I will say this circuit board material will eat through a piece of sandpaper. It doesn't take much sanding on a piece of sandpaper uh, to wear it out. The DT3, I think I was throwing the fives, or I mean the sevens. Um, it's probably hanging up. There's two. I don't see the one I sanded on yet. That's my favorite color. Bleeding olive shiner. Oh. I have a flat 7 with a bill that somehow got so hot it bent. Have you tried to throw it? It sounds like a thug. I would probably like it. Or did it get bent up? Bend it down, and I bet that son of a bitch will want to run good. Morgan, talk to Tim. He's done some pretty weird shit with bills. I like doing that kind of stuff, though. It's fun. It's only on one side. Oh, it like turned. Well, now you can really have fun with it. Put in some boiling water, straight back out, then bend it down. I'll probably test them without first, and if they run without hardware, because Marty's baits typically run fine without hardware. But if they don't, I'll try hardware. But a lot of baits won't run without the hardware. But these typically, all Marty's baits typically do fine with without hardware. Here's a question for you, gentlemen. If you're buying baits from a builder, and the builder goes out and tests baits to like tune them or just make sure they're right before they sell them, and he catches a fish on the bait, would that bother you? AJ, what's up, dude? Or shave off the back and get the line tie closer. Hell, I just watched your crank fest with the big game. My heart was full. I meant to get on there and leave a comment, but I got sidetracked. I'll go back and comment. Snatching the bill out of Aristo and putting in a DT6 and getting it deeper like DT8 before they came out with that. We got a couple Calvin Johnsons over here on the stream. Y'all on any Calvin Johnson modded baits? Tried putting a DT10 bill in a DT6 and it sank. That's unfortunate. I've got a pretty badass DT6 that broke. I was throwing it in a Bama Bass video. I don't know if it made the video though. Hell, I don't even see that bait anymore. I said it was here. I know exactly. It's a like a simple crawl. Wonder where that is. Oh, I bet it's in my box at home. That'd be a good spot. Not Megatron, Calvin Johnson. Giant rattle in the side of a Bagley. Pull out a lip of a Rapala, Calvin Johnson. Does anybody, I think of all the people that are like pretty well known, Jeremy, I've got a good answer for that. Hold on. I don't eat them anymore though. My favorite is the strawberry peanut butter Uncrustable. That was the best boat food on the planet. Freeze them the night before, throw them in the boat. By the time it's time to eat them, they're like cold and like thawed out. Oh, dude, a damn Uncrustable on the boat is money. But of all the famed like bait builders and like, you know, painters, whoever, like I feel like Calvin Johnson is the most mysterious. Because still to this day, if Calvin Johnson walked up and tapped me on the shoulder, like I would have no clue who he was. I don't know anything about the dude. I don't know how old he is. I don't know. I know he's from the Carolinas, I think, somewhere. But I don't, like, if you wanted to get a bait done by him, like, I don't know how you go about doing that. Hell, you've probably seen his baits because he would take like a, I don't know what some of his famous mods were. He would take like a Risto wrap and put like a Bagley Killer Bee shallow lip in it, like a round Bagley lip and a Risto wrap, and then he would drill a gigantic hole in the side for a rattle, and it would have like a big black dot on either side. That's how you could usually tell his baits he'd modified. And I think he had bills made at some point that said he had CJ bills, or he would write CJ on his baits. But he did a lot of stuff. He likes Vienna sausages. My dad likes those things. Does that nasty son of a bitch you fish with, Morgan, does he drink the juice, or is he a civilized human being and pours the juice out? How old do you reckon Calvin is, Tim? AJ, what is this fucking hippie shit you're eating, dude? Pro Bar meals and Nature's Bakery fig bars? Where do you get this stuff? Where do you shop? Jeremy, you got to get you some You got to get you some Uncrustables, dude. The shorty mod. What is the shorty mod? Now my go-to boat food. I just make like a turkey sandwich at home. Um, he's in his 50s. Damn. So he's been modding bait since he was like in his 20s. I feel like if he's only in his 50s, maybe he got started in his 30s. Yo, Troy, he's into some. He's into his fitness. What does he run like? Triathlons or something? I feel like he's been around forever. Like I was thinking he was like 80. He's got to be older than that, dude. Because I saw his daughter on like Woodbait Nation or something, and she was like, "If anybody's looking for my dad, he's okay. Uh, like still doing baits, and we're gonna put some on eBay." And she didn't look like a damn spring chicken, so. Like I said, he's very incognito. Turned your OG slim bill into a square bill. I've not tested it yet, though. Tim Maynard, have you modified any of the OG slims yet? South Jersey, I can. Hell, I feel like a lot of bass guys miss opportunities like that with like a you see a lot of guys do the beef jerky boat wraps and shit, but like I feel like the Uncrustable is a hidden gem that somebody could probably tap into and and maybe get a little coin for their troubles. Three more. The Shorty Mod is a Risto wrap with the back of the lip shortened and moving the line tie back. Interesting. Well, Calvin, he's a mad scientist, whoever he is, whatever he looks like. Turns out Calvin Johnson is 33. But he's the only guy I know that like he never built baits, he never painted baits. He'd put some glitter on them, but like his whole thing was like just modifying baits. And I don't know that there's ever been anybody else like with the degree of you know well knownness that Calvin had. But I don't know if we're past that era to where like are people going to do that anymore? Like is that generation of people like dying out that you would like send your baits off to have like an eighth of an inch cut off and have them reinstalled? I just don't see the like the kids that are coming up now. I just don't see them doing that. Like if it's not out of the pack and ready to go. Oh no, I was wrong. I thought I had 3 more. Shit, I've got 7 more. Tim, you need to go over there and I wonder if he would take a picture with you. I wonder if you could go, if you could get his contact information and be like, hey, can I bring you some baits? Or like, I'm coming through your area. Can I drop them off? I wonder if he would like allow people at his house. Catfish dinner? That sounds good. Critical gravy. What is which jerkbait are you repairing? Megabass? That's the only one I could think of that it would be worth to repair. I've gotten a lot of requests for that over the years. That's probably my only bill request I've ever gotten in any amount of volume was, can you fix 110s? And I've honestly never tried. I only own like 4, and I've never broken one. But as soon as I do, I'm sure I'll get the saw blade out. Should probably be wearing a mask. I know this stuff's really not good for you. Should probably wet sand it. I wonder if that would work. Tim, you need to make that happen, dude. For all of us. Set the record straight. If any of you guys follow guitars, I kind of feel like Calvin Johnson is in a way, he has the mystery of like an Alexander Dumble. If that makes any sense to anybody, I might just be talking gibberish. But if you don't know who Alexander Dumble is, look up Dumble amplification. Most famous amplifier he ever made, I think, was the Steel String Singer. Stevie Ray Vaughan played one. A lot of other famous guys played one. Tim, I got a guitar over here I'm working on. I bought it. I bought this guitar because I wanted a Telecaster, and I found it on Craigslist pre-marketplace. Gave the dude $100 for it, and not this one. This is the second one. But Tim, I got all kinds of shit up in here. I'm not just a bait geek. I'm a guitar geek. Amongst other things. Jeremy has no musical talent. I didn't either. Luckily, I really enjoyed playing guitar, and I practiced obsessively. You were asking earlier about a builder catching baits before selling them. I built some to sell a buddy and caught some on more than one while tuning. I don't think I'd be pissed. Unless they like knocked a huge chunk of something out of it. Like I wouldn't even be pissed about hook rash really. No. You get to play through an overdrive special. What'd it sound like? Did you sound better? Like that's like those like an old Marshall or like any of those like JCM 800s or any of those like super loud Marshalls. They're like a lie detector. Like if there's anything that you like do that you're not supposed to, you can hear it. And guys get those things. You're like, oh, I want to, I want an old like, old Marshall from the '60s. You get them, and they're like very unforgiving. But what do you play now, Tim? Sorry, went off on a music guitar rant. I'm hoping there's more guitarists on here want to chime in. Probably not. Just waiting on somebody to say, "Shut up and paint a bait." I don't want to hear about these stupid guitars. Take it easy, dude. Enjoy your dinner. Did you were you like empowered when you like first like hit the first chord or whatever you played? I mean, to play a amp of that pedigree would be pretty wild. Sure hope we don't lose the painter dude to the music dude. You know what? Screw painting. I think I'm gonna be a guitarist. Tim, you a Fender guy or you a Gibson guy? Or are you a shredder? Ooh, like a rotating speaker, Leslie? Yeah. I always wanted one of those. Jeremy, hit me up. I'll probably be up. I was up at 3 this morning with crying babies. South Jersey, you got a Leslie you want to get rid of? Trade for some baits. Oh, but Tim, I was going to tell you about this guitar back here. So I bought it from a guy. I bought it from a guy on. This isn't, like I said, this isn't the one. This is the second one I've been able to find. But apparently they never made it to production, and it was during the lawsuit era of guitars. And if you're not, if you're still listening and I haven't run you off yet, in the 70s, early 80s, it was considered the lawsuit era in guitars, where all these companies from overseas were just completely knocking off American-made guitars and sending them over here. And so lawsuits happened, and they kind of went by the wayside. Mr. Geiger, thank you. You as well. Well, this is one of those lawsuit guitars. And I don't think it ever made it to production. And I think it's either Korean or Japanese. But I think the only ones out there are samples that were sent to music stores. And the one I bought from the dude on Craigslist, I played it, and I bought it to like just like destroy, not really destroy, but to like, make a Frankencaster out of it. And I started playing it, and I was like, holy shit, this thing was awesome. But I watch on eBay for them, and I've only found one, and I bought it when I was in Austin. So I have two, and they're different, but they still sound awesome. And it is just a Telly knockoff. But this one's in a lot better shape than my other one. And they typically, this one had a neck pickup in it, and I didn't like it, so I just took it out and made it like a no caster or whatever they called them. So this thing's sweet, dude. I don't know what these knockoff pickups are, but they're I mean, this thing's probably 40 years old now, 40 or 30. But this is number 2. Number 1's at home. I won't do anything to it, but it's a good playing guitar. I like the other one better though. But the other one's got the neck sanded down, and I was trying to get this neck sanded down so it felt like my other one. And this one had some Grover tuners on it. I don't typically like those, so I was taking those off, and I have to have conversion bushings to fit the Grover holes because they're too big for like the vintage Fender style. Oh, somebody broke a, man, somebody really did some shitty work to this. Somebody broke a screw off in it. How about that? But Yeah, this one's pretty decent. The hardware's great. Like everything about it's real good. Good playing guitar. Um, Tim, I would think these are underwhelmed. They're very, very vintagey. Low output, but under a cranked amp, they sound awesome. Uh, AJ, you've got a Martin knockoff. Does it say Martin? Or does it say like Martine with an E on the end? Oh, you're asking if I had any fish drawings or paintings? Yes, I have one my mother did um, for the American Lung Association back in, I'm thinking maybe 2001. I can show it to you. Nope, it's from the year 2000. I need to hang it on the wall. But yeah, she did this, and I think they auctioned one off, and they put it on a T-shirt, all kinds of stuff. But yes, it's a red shad worm. I didn't have enough foresight to tell her to put a crankbait in there. I'm typically into some like, you know, Hendrix type stuff. Uh, Hendrix was the guy that got me wanting to play the guitar. Uh, but I've been in a country phase lately. And I've never, Rich, glad you like them, man. Let me know when you get to test run them. But I don't even remember what I was saying. My mom bought it in the late 70s, and I looked it up and saw that it was a lawsuit guitar. AJ, do you play it? Or do you want to send it to me? Are you gonna pass it down to your kids? Rich, they'll probably eat that bluegill one up there where you're at right now. Are they getting tuned into those things? Oh, but I've never had an ear for like major scales. So I've always like kind of been into like blues and like darker sounding shit because I always like could hear like a minor scale and like so major scale stuff like you'd hear in like country music or like bluegrass or something. Like it never, uh, my ear never resonated with it. Uh, and so now that I'm getting older, I'm trying to like, get smarter and learn a little bit about, trying to make myself learn some like major stuff. I started playing when I was 12. I should be a lot better than I am, but I mean, I'm decent. But I think my issue with like compared to airbrushing, like if I want to airbrush something on a fishing lure that uh, I see or dream up, I can typically do that within reason. Um, but like when I play the guitar, I can't play freely. You know, like I really envy the guys that like have such a mastery of the fretboard that they can just play forever. Like eventually I run out of licks. You know what I mean? Like I'm not that guy that's so well versed in the fretboard that I could just like play indefinitely and like have fun with it. Like stressful for me to like play with people. Um, but I would really like at some point in my life to get to that stage where I could just be so comfortable with the fretboard that I, could just play and have fun and not have to worry about like what notes coming next. Geiger, thank you for the kind words. That's what I don't know that it came more naturally to me than music. Music certainly didn't. I think the where I went wrong with music is that I never wanted to learn music. Like I never wanted to learn theory. I never wanted to learn like how to be a musician. I always just wanted to learn how to be like how to play like Voodoo Child. You know what I mean? Like I didn't care why or what was happening in the song. Like none of that needed to make sense to me. Like I just wanted to turn my amp up loud and click my wah and go and like make people go oh. But like as I got older, I was like, I really need to figure out how to how to be a better overall guitar player to where I'm like you know not having to think so much and just let my ear do the work. Um, I've got a good ear for music, but I don't know enough about like I never learned like modes or anything like that. And I feel like now I need to. AJ, that's like 80% of all acoustics in the world. They get set in the corner, strung tight, and then the bridge starts pulling up. But it's funny growing up. Like my sister was an artist, and not professionally, but she was like she could paint and draw, and like she had no problems with any of that. And so I was watching her and my mom. Like my mom would paint that kind of stuff and like do all this stuff like that, and then I would uh, I would try to draw, and I couldn't draw, and I couldn't paint. Like I could color between, like I could color real good. I could color like in between lines of like a coloring book. Like I was badass at that, but like everybody was. I guess everybody wasn't, but I was really good at coloring, and I was good with colors, but I never could like put anything to paper or do anything like that. And I was always like, why can't I draw? You know what I mean? Like everybody else can draw. And my dad had like an engineering brain, and he could draw like in like 3D of like a building or like whatever from doing construction and like blueprints and stuff like that. So I could never do anything like that. So I was like, maybe that's just not for me. So uh, picked up the guitar, and it's like, well, maybe I'm more on the musical side than the drawing art side. So so I started doing that, and that sucked, like just everybody else. But I practiced a ton, um, got pretty decent. I was voted most talented in high school. Who's who? How about that? Um, but so, but it, but my guitar abilities were only from just like practicing a ton. It was not from like any musical ability I had. Um, I would get up and I would play, and then I would go to bed and I would play. Like I would come home from school and I would play for like 5 hours. That's all I did. And I'd never been around, like I didn't hang around musicians and I didn't know musicians until I got in college. And once you get into the big fishbowl of like a college where there's people from everywhere, and you meet like real musicians that are like that have practiced as much as me, but are also like naturally have a mind for music and are like natural musicians, you realize how much you suck. Uh, so I remember seeing two kids. I was walking down the street, and these two kids were playing on the front porch of their house, and I was probably 21 at the time, and they were like 18, dude. They were like just like getting there, and those dudes like ripped, and I was just sitting there going, like, how good are y'all, dude? And like those two guys were just like guys that just practiced a ton, but they were also like new music, and like it made sense to them. And I was never good at math, so music is a lot of math, and it was never good with me. Um, Grew up in a family of musicians. Yeah, I think you need to meet those kind of guys. It doesn't matter if it's fishing, if it's painting, or whatever you're doing. Like if you think you're good at something, and then you like get out there in the world and you see like what good really is, like damn, this is kind of like my bass fishing career when we started bass fishing. But I did have like an epiphany moment once I started airbrushing. Like it didn't take me long. Like once I started airbrushing a little bit, I was like, you know what? Maybe this is my thing. Like my sister and my mom, they were artists with like pen and paintbrush. I was like, maybe I just didn't find it, but like my artistic ability is through an airbrush. Turns out it is. Um, but it took, you know, 30 years to figure it out, which is kind of cool. Um, Pretty cool. Um, but oh, I've probably told you all this before, but one thing I learned that was really weird is that so I write left-handed, and uh, I'm pretty much naturally, I guess you'd call me ambidextrous, but I write left-handed. I started airbrushing, and I was painting and painting and painting. And one day I was like trying to practice on like a piece of paper, and I was gonna like write something like like they do on like those like spring break T-shirts. I was like, let's see if I can like write somebody's name. And I picked my airbrush up and I looked and I was like, you're using the wrong hand. And I never realized it, but this whole time I had been airbrushing with my right hand. I was like, I wonder if that's why you can't write. So I switched to my left hand to try and write. And airbrushing with my left hand is like me trying to write with my left hand. I can airbrush with my right hand and write with my left hand, but I can airbrush with my left hand and write with my right hand. But I didn't realize it at first. Like it took like a while. That was really weird. That was really, really weird. And I tried to switch. I was like, well, maybe I'd be better if I used my left hand. No, I sucked. I was terrible. Favorite country player? Favorite country player? Good question. Favorite country player? Maybe Ryan Engelman from Turnpike Troubadours, since he's got baits of mine. I keep waiting on him to walk out on stage with a Tacklecraft shirt or hat on. Probably never happened, but it'd be awesome if it did. I really like, of course, I love Brad Paisley's guitar playing. His like cheesy lyrics and stuff I don't really get into, but hell of a guitar player. He's probably Jerry Reed's nasty. I can't really relate to Jerry Reed because like all that shit Jerry Reed does is like such a weird hybrid of like, I don't even know what you would call that. Like what type of music do you call what Jerry Reed plays, like guitar wise? Morgan, there's been times where I've gotten where I've had like a weird angle to spray at, and I've needed to spray with my left hand. It's real awkward. It is real awkward. Who's better live? What's his name? Brad Paisley? But like Jerry Reed, like when he plays, it's not like, to me, it's not like straight country. Like it's like jazz and all this other stuff mixed in. But technically, the dude, like that's the funny thing about like Jerry Reed. Like Jerry Reed was like a shredder before shredders existed. You know what I mean? Like the only thing different was he did it on an acoustic or like a flat top guitar compared to like if you gave Jerry Reed like a flying V and like a ton of distortion, he would rip. Like he could hang with like any metal shredder. Marty. It's the last one. I've been cutting and sawing on these damn things for 3 hours. About done now. Country guitar players. About Brett Mason. Tim, you know who Jack Pearsons is? Vince Gill. Girl I knew from college used to get dropped off in the, she used to carpool with Vince Gill. What's that town south of Nashville? All the Nashville singers and musicians live in, real fancy neighborhood or town. That's where she lived. AJ, is that a no that you do not play guitar? That's a guy I'm a huge fan of. Probably top 5 guitarist. Marty, enjoy your barb. Mark Knopfler, hands down. That dude. He might be top 3, dude. He might be number 2. Like a glove. Money, dude. Yeah, I would probably put, if you feel like listening to something, Rich, Tim, that really gets my gears going, look up Privateering by Mark Knopfler. Hey, Alexa, play Privateering by Mark Knopfler. Ooh, Travis, enjoy your Casey's. But Tim, I aspire to play 1% as good as Mark Knopfler. But I take a lot from him, like learning a lot of his stuff. Geiger, it's a little flat side jobber been working on. I'm gonna try to have these done since I'm going out of town next week. I'm gonna try to have these done and up on Monday night. Yeah, I don't know what colors I'm going to do on these. Um, but I'll dream something up. Tim, look up Privateering by Mark Knopfler. The song is an album. I think that's the name of the album, but the song off of that album is, I said earlier, It Gets My Motor Running. And you got to listen to all of it. Don't just listen to part of it, because it's got like a crescendo. It's playing in the background right now, but it is an exquisite piece of music. School Bus Yellow Rich? Ella, he's in Kansas. Yeah, I like. I actually recorded. It would be embarrassing to pull out 16-year-old me's guitar. Actually, I wasn't 16. I was probably 17 at the time. But when I was in high school, I was asked to play on a like senior song, and they were going to play it at like our like senior like farewell dinner thing. And this dude wanted to sing it, and he knew somebody that had like a little recording studio. He's like, "Do you want to play lead on Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd?" So, sure. So I have a recording somewhere of it. But I recorded it in one take. Everything you hear in the song. They hit play, hit record, and everything on the recording is what I played the first time through, which is pretty cool. And there's some definitely shit I'd like to edit out of it, but for a little dipshit kid, it wasn't terrible. I would probably really cringe listening to it now. Oh, that's what I was asking about. If you knew Jack Pearson's, Tim. I've dabbled in slide too. I really enjoy playing slide. I'm not good at it, but one thing that hurt me, I think, when I first started picking up slide was that I didn't know that a lot of people played in open tunings. It took me like 10 years to figure that out. And then when I figured out what an open tuning was, like with slide, that changed things. Guys that play slide in standard tuning really fry my brain. Like Jack, for one. Like if you hear him play slide in standard tuning. You too, dude. Have a good weekend. Dude, Lindsey Buckingham. That was my like the first time I heard Big Love from The Dance. That like blew my mind. I always wanted to learn how to like finger pick like that. But I will never be able to play that. I don't have the time now, and I don't have the just drive to sit there and like Dadgad, isn't that the Zoso tuning? Am I wrong or am I right? Or not? What is it? It's the what was played on that Immigrant Song? No. What was it? What's that Zeppelin song? The Immigrant Song? Jay Priest, what's up, dude? I think that was the Jimmy Page tuning, right? But that was yeah, Lindsey Buckingham, big love. Like I had to watch it live to make sure that wasn't like 13 guitars because I heard it and I was like, going to California today again. Um, I think Jimmy Page used to use that tuning a lot. Uh, but I couldn't believe when I heard that the first time that like that was one man's hands and fingers. Like anytime I hear stuff like that, like I think Mark Knopfler is probably to me the classiest guitar player to ever walk the planet. Like that dude has so much taste and like he knows like the perfect time. Like everything he does is to me just like the utmost class. Um, if you want to watch another good video, look up him and Clapton playing Layla. And Clapton's got an acoustic, and Mark Knopfler's got a Les Paul. And that solo he plays on there is like, it's just uh, incredible. Incredible. Um, yeah, I would say the only reason that I'm half-ass decent like finger picker, and I'm more of like a hybrid kind of. I'm not a claw guy, but I can like I'm pretty decent with like these three fingers. Um, but that's pretty much all attributed to Mark Knopfler from just playing like tons of Dire Straits, and I'm still not good at it at like getting that like Mark Knopfler sound, but I'm like I can do certain stuff, but I can't rip off like a Sultans of Swing solo completely with my fingers. Like I have to lean on a pick. Um, I wish I could, but I wish I had strings on that damn thing. Now I want to play guitar. Jay, I didn't know there was a hurricane coming down through there. Board up the windows. Stay safe. Hella, have fun, dude. Go snatch them on a frog. Team No Fish. I need to. I need to. I don't have an amp here, and I don't own an acoustic. I own three acoustic guitars, but they all need tons of work. Um, Tim, he was a phenom because we all know he sold his soul to the devil. Tim, can you sing? I learned my first Beatles song a couple nights ago. Because when my daughter was very small, and she would sit out on the porch, and sitting on the porch was the only thing that would calm her down. So I'd be out there on the porch swing at like 3 in the morning, trying to get her to go back to sleep, and did that for months. And I would try and like sing her a song. And the one song that I sang to her was "Hey Jude," except I would take out Jude and I would say "Hey Bean," and I would sing the song except with Jude with Bean. And the damn song stuck. Like she makes me sing it to her. Like now, it didn't happen for the like until the last like month or so. But she like, you know, you don't think kids are listening. And then like one night she was like, "Hey Bean," and I was like, "What?" And then we finally figured out that she was asking me to sing her that song, and so I guess I need to learn that on guitar. And piecing together just like a simple song like "Hey Jude" makes you realize what incredible songwriters and melody makers the Beatles were. Um, oh, Tim, before I go, answer me this. I was having an argument with a fellow musician friend of mine at a bar one night. Um, I was like, "Man, I really envy you guys that can sing." And he was like, "I was like, because you're either born with it or you're not. Like, you're either a singer or you're not. Like, I can't. There's no amount of practice that I'm gonna sound like, you know, any good singer that you like Lindsey Buckingham. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna sound like whoever." And he's like, "No, that's bullshit." I'm like, "What's bullshit?" He's like, "You can sing." He's like, "Anybody can learn to sing." I'm like, "Nah, dude." I was like, it don't work like that." And he's like, "Yeah, like you can take vocal lessons and learn how to use your voice, and like you anybody can learn how to sing." I was like, "No, okay, maybe everybody could learn how to like maybe like hold a little bit of like a note." I was like, "But that doesn't mean you can sing." And we sat there and argued for like till we were like cross-eyed drunk about if anybody could learn to sing. And I said no, and he said anybody has the ability to learn to sing, and that they could sing in a decent manner. No, I know for 100% of a fact my wife could never sing, no matter all. I mean, I could spend thousands of dollars on lessons for the next 15, 20 years, and I don't think she would ever be able to hold a note in key. Um, but sorry, Amy, love you. She's just not a singer. And I can hear like where the notes are and where my voice needs to go, but I can't. I don't know what my like vocal range is. Like I don't know where. Uh, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how to sing. Um, but like some people are just tone deaf, and I don't think you can teach somebody that's tone deaf how to sing because it's all audible. You know what I mean? Like you could probably teach somebody that's tone deaf how to play a guitar because they could the notes like it would you could play it would be like trying to teach somebody that was tone deaf a fretless instrument. That would probably be a lot harder than teaching somebody a fretted instrument, or like teaching somebody how to play like a trumpet as compared to like a sax or something. um, I don't know. AJ, you hopping around. But anyway, my buddy's frying fish and he invited us over, so I'm gonna go hang out with him and the wife and kids. So y'all be good. Have a good weekend. Look for these guys Monday. Peace be with you. Later, YouTubes. Later, Insta.